Welcome back, everybody. The first day of the European Sustainable Energy Week has almost become the first evening. I hope you had amazing discussions at the policy sessions. Now we're back for the last part of this first day, the launch of the first online youth energy communication hackathon. It's there to generate new ideas for boosting renewables and energy efficiency. It's hosted by the European Sustainable Energy Week together with the European Youth Energy Network, and it's moderated by Anna Gumbau, a climate and energy journalist who has joined me now. Anna, welcome.
Thank you very much, Olaf.
So Anna, tell me, what is to be expected now?
Well, I think we are expecting some very intense 48 hours for the participants that will be joining us. We have 7 teams scattered all across Europe that they will have to deliver some original communications ideas to communicate the energy transition. So, I think in the next hour where we are going to be introducing the session, we are expecting, I think, a lot of inspiration and a lot of, energizing speeches and a lot of creativity and room to be thinking out of the box.
Well, great. I really hope for an amazing evening right now, and the floor is yours for the launch.
Thank you very much, Ola. Thanks a lot for this kind words of introduction and also for having guided us through this very first day at the EU Sustainable Energy Week. We've had a very intense first day with very interesting speakers, even some inspiration as well from the EU Sustainable Energy Week Awards. But today is not over yet, because in fact we are just getting started with one of the highlights of the EU Sustainable Energy Week. So good evening from Brussels, everyone, and welcome to today's launch of the European Youth Energy Communications Hackathon. We are ending this very first day at EUSEW with a blast, because we will be getting energized and we will be getting inspired to deliver creative ideas and to think out of the box. Today we are launching the hackathon, where 7 teams will be working together to propose communication solutions. The intention behind this communications hackathon is to engage the public towards renewable energy sources and energy efficiency. These are 2 of the pillars of the European Green Deal and the Fit for 55 package. These are 2 topics that you probably have already seen in this first day of the Sustainable Energy Week. And if you are one of these EU energy policy wonks, you for sure know that these are 2 of the priorities and 2 of the cornerstones to be delivering these 55% emissions reduction goals. So as I was saying, we have 7 teams scattered all across Europe that in the next 48 hours will be working together and getting the support from some great mentors that will be guiding them throughout this process. They will be proposing solutions. They will be bringing renewables closer to citizens, to engage citizens, to empower them and make all of us care, because each one of us has a role to play in the energy transition and in tackling the climate crisis. So this hackathon, in fact, is one of the priorities of the European Commission. And I believe there's nobody better to be explaining, to inspiring our teams and understanding what's the reasoning behind of this youth hackathon that our first guest today. I'm really delighted to be introducing Cristina Lobillo Borrero. She's Director for Energy Policy, Strategy and Communication at the European Commission's Directorate General for Energy. So Ms. Lobillo, thank you very much for joining us today. So if you could tell us why this hackathon matters so much for the European Commission, and what would you tell our participants, some first words of inspiration? Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much, and good evening to everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you for accepting the challenge of participating in this first European Energy Communication Hackathon. It's a real pleasure to be with you and open this event. I am very pleased to see many representatives of youth ready to discuss the challenges of communicating on different aspects of the clean energy transition. The European Commission has always said that we put the European Union, the citizens, at the core of the European Green Deal. And so we want to make sure that you can be active players in this transition. Last year, the first European Youth Energy Day gathered over 130 young Europeans who exchanged ideas on how to transform Europe into the first climate neutral continent. The event concluded with the creation of a new network of energy enthusiasts, the so-called European Youth Energy Network. This year, the representative of that network are our partners. And they are our partners for the organization of the European Youth Energy Day this year on Thursday. And the idea is that the result of your efforts in this hackathon will be presented to Thursday main session with a prizes award for the best 3 projects. Before talking about our aims for the hackathon, please allow me to take a few moments to set the context and also to explain what we have done so far in the European Union. Under the European Green Deal, this Commission, President von der Leyen Commission, has set out a vision for a European Union that should be neutral, climate neutral, by 2050. You all know that this is vital in the fight against the climate change. And to do so, we need also to change the way the society and our economy functions. This is a very important point that I wanted to highlight and to share with you today. Our projections make clear that if we want to reduce our greenhouse gas emission to net zero by 2050, we must achieve minus 55 reduction by 2030. The last July, the European Commission adopted a series of new European legislative proposals to change the European Union legislation in order to achieve this 2030 goal. This is why we call it the Fit for 55 package. From the energy perspective, allow me to share with you which are the 2 main elements that we need to work more during the next months and years. Allow me to focus on the energy efficiency and renewables. We are looking for more renewables to be integrated in the energy market in the European Union. And for that, we are not starting from the scratch. We have work during the previous year. We started in the European Union in 2007 to have our goals, and the same for energy efficiency. Maybe to share with you that later this year we will present specific proposals on the revision of the energy performance in buildings. And this will be a directive that will also help to decarbonize the building sector. That is one of the economic sector that produce more greenhouse gas emission. Let me also focus on one strategy that the European Commission published 1 year ago. Is the so-called Renovation Way for Europe. That means how greening our buildings, creating jobs, and also improving lives could also or should be at the center of the European Green Deal. By improving also the insulation in social housing in European buildings, we can also help to reduce energy consumption and also to alleviate energy poverty. That is, I am sure that you are all concerned by that. We in the Commission have also proposed a special budget, the so-called Just Transition Fund, that is also focusing to alleviate all the consumers in the European Union that need to tackle situation of high energy prices. And this is the first time that we have in the Commission set kind of budget. And the purpose is not to let anyone behind in this energy transition. We are, of course, trying very hard to get our messages across, and also underlining the importance of people changing our behavior in the fight against the climate change. Because it's not only about legislation, it's not only about investment, we need also to change our behavior. We need to convince people, European citizens, on the need to change our way, as Anna said before, the way we consume, the way we move. This is fundamental to achieve the target. I believe that in this world of climate deniers, we need to do more. And we see more and more disinformation about climate issues. This is mostly spread in social media, and sometimes we even see opposition to new initiatives such as renewable energy projects based on short-term considerations. You bring a different perspective to our narrative, not only in terms of underlying how important for the future generation this long-term view means, but also on how you communicate it. And that includes which medium of communication we use. We need your ideas, we need your enthusiasm and your talent in order to convey these messages across the European continent. This communication marathon was designed especially for you to get your voices heard and to help us in our work. This is also a great potential of youth action outside the context of this event. Young people around the world are showing great initiative in the fight against climate change through campaigning and taking to the streets and asking the leaders to effectuate changes. We have seen innovative, tangible action from young people. And in case you missed it, there was a special award this morning, the first day of the EUSEW2021, made by our Commissioner for Energy, Kadri Simpson, to the Young Energy Trailblazer of the Year. Let me end now. My main message to you is that even if 2050 seems a long way now, in terms of climate change, this is really coming very soon. We cannot afford to lose time. If we don't get things on track in this decade, it will be even more difficult for future generations. Check our policies and the various programs I have mentioned and get involved now. The next Young Energy Trailblazer will be one of you. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the success in this event. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Cristina, for these first words of wisdom. And I think you've connected the dots very well. We've seen talking about putting citizens at the core of the EU Sustainable Energy Week and the European Green Deal's plans, and also the need to change behavior. And this is going to be one of the topics that our participants at the hackathon we're going to be talking about. So thank you very much again, Ms. Lavillo, Director for Energy Policy at the European Commission, for joining us. And now I'm very pleased to turn to our second guest. She's Adriana Vascone. She's one of the communications coordinator at the European Youth Energy Network, one of the partner organizations behind this youth hackathon. So thank you very much, Adriana, for joining us. And thanks a lot. And you're the communications coordinator, so you're dealing with communicating the energy transition on a daily basis. And this hackathon is all about communicating the climate and sustainable energy. So what have you learned from your experience, and maybe like which nugget of advice would you be giving our participants to the hackathon?
Sure, thank you. Like, before I go into some specific inspiration that I would like to leave you, dear participants, with, maybe just let's explain what the European Youth Energy Network is, or why is effective communication important for us. So basically, for those who don't know us, we are a federation of basically all energy-focused organizations in Europe, and we have big plans to rethink what formal youth engagement should be like in Europe to effectively reach a just, empowered, and collaborative energy transition. And for that, we really need to communicate effectively, because we transmit the messages of youth in a competent and effective way to decision makers. We bring together organizations, youth organizations, our members and partners to define activities together. We empower them, we share knowledge and further information, and we finally also encourage and engage with actors to understand why the role of youth is so crucial. So you see, this is why we are also engaged so much in this hackathon, and we are also engaged in building our internal structures, because internal communication and having the same vision is also super important. What I would like to give you, dear participants, for this hackathon is a short idea of what actually successful communication is all about. And from our point of view, it's about people, and of course it's about data and getting the correct information across. Why do I say it's about people? Because the core of communication is to talk to people and not talk about people. So when you will think about the challenges, talk to the consumers, so talk to your target groups. communication is also to engage with the motivations, with the experiences of these people, to listen actively, and to, at the same time, of course, push for rapid action and push for your solutions in a well-argued, in a passionate and convincing way. It's about building strong relationships with dialogue. It's not necessarily to reach the mass and to convince everyone of your idea from step one. And it's about finding allies and building a strong community, which we are doing also by bringing together all these youth organizations. So as you see, communication is a teamwork. You don't have to do it all alone. And of course, the next step then is to find the right tools, the right social media channels, and whatever there is to reach the target group you want to reach. But this is not this is not the only thing that I wanted to share with you. And what we often forget is that it's important to share stories, like societal stories, hero stories of how we can get to this vision, but also personal stories of the people involved, and let the people speak their own stories, and build powerful, emotionally touching narratives towards the goal that you want to reach. I would have other points that I can share maybe later of how to, successfully identify your challenge and implement the projects you want to implement. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Adriana. You mentioned something very important, which is the power of storytelling, the power of narratives, and that's something that our participants, I'm sure, will have to and will want to be exploiting and making the most of in the next 48 hours. So now let's move to a little explanation of what the next 48 hours are going to be about, and this hackathon is about. Now, most of you may have probably already heard about hackathons before. So these are events where a number of people meet. It's normally about 48 hours of intense work to deliver certain projects or ideas or solutions. Now, you might be thinking of the kind of tech hackathon where programmers and other multidisciplinary teams need to deliver apps or a certain type of software to deliver some kind of solution. But let me warn you that this is a different kind of hackathon. This is a communication hackathon, as we have said. And in this case, participants are expected to deliver effective communication activities to enhance consumers' engagement towards renewable sources of energy and energy efficiency. And this is why our 7 teams will need to get creative to deliver these communication solutions that are effective, creative, and engaging. Now, let me explain to you quickly which potential challenges, or which challenges are they're gonna have to choose from to solve. The teams will be able to choose among 3 topics, 3 challenges. The first challenge is to increase consumer awareness on their energy consumption and impact. How can we make people more aware of their own energy usage, their energy consumption, and the impact it has on the planet? I mean, Ms. Lobillo was talking earlier about the importance of consumer awareness and consumer behavior, right? So we need to find new ways, new original ways to be raising awareness and get people to look at their own behavior and their own footprints. So again, this challenge is about raising consumer awareness. The second challenge, if we are moving to the next topic, is to increase consumer awareness about energy efficiency and practices to save energy and reduce their CO2 footprint. I mean, we already mentioned before that energy efficiency will be one of the main challenges in our decarbonization. So we have several instruments with us that Ms. Lobillo had outlined before. So how do we bring people on board? How do we communicate better about these challenges? So, and we effectively encourage consumers to reduce their carbon footprint in their everyday life and raise more awareness that we need to be more mindful about our energy consumption. So this challenge is also about raising awareness, but also about the potential to be affecting change and making an impact and showing people how they can also make a difference in their own daily lives and with their own energy consumption. Then, last but not least, our third challenge is going to be to improve and facilitate a dialogue between local policy actors, public authorities, and communities on the energy transition. Now, we know that we cannot do this alone. Building partnerships is crucial in delivering the energy transition. Nobody of us can do it alone. Nobody can be left behind. This is one of the concepts we had also just spoken to before, which is the just transition, making sure that everyone is on board on this challenge ahead in the way to 2030 and 2050. That's why having a constant dialogue between local actors, public authorities, and different communities is indispensable. So this challenge, we're going to have to answer a couple of questions. So first of all, how can we foster this dialogue between citizens and policymakers to make change happen? And how can we increase citizens' awareness and make them know that there's a need for this dialogue and how they can effect this dialogue and make it happen? Now, this challenge is all about highlighting how this dialogue can and why it should be achieved. Now, each team will have to pick one of the challenges to be working in, and the 3 best solutions, independently of the challenges that they pick, will be awarded. Now, this process, it's not starting now. This has been running at least for the past month. So let's go briefly through the timeline. Participants could join the platform in the hackathon and start thinking of her first ideas, first proposals, and interact with potential teammates in what is called the Ideation Phase. This started last month, from the 23rd of September, and lasted until the 15th of October, where participants and potential hackers were delivering together some first ideas, some first potential seeds that will eventually be growing into full-fledged projects. So they were working together until just a few days ago, until the 15th of October, because then these teams had to present a first outline, a first idea of this potential project. This is what is called the Milestone 1. And our expert jury, which we will get to meet and speak with on Thursday, had a first deliberation to select the final teams that will take part in this hackathon starting today. In total, it's going to be 7 teams working together, connected from all across Europe. And they're all connected, in fact, just now to start hacking in just a few minutes at 7 p.m. So in the next 48 hours, they will have the support of a team of mentors that will help them make ideas a reality and deliver workshops to get the ideas like maybe a bit more feasible or to fine-tune their project proposals. Now, on Wednesday evening, they will have to submit their final projects in writing and visual format. So those are very few intense 2 days ahead for our teams joining us. Because on Thursday, as you know, we will have our European Youth Energy Day, where we will also have the award ceremony of the hackathon. Our 7 teams will be pitching their ideas, and our expert jury will have a final deliberation. And just to give you a little bit of an update, we are delighted that the European Commissioner for Energy, Kadri Simpson, will be there to announce and congratulate the winners. And of course, the winning teams will get some great prizes. We will have 3 winners in total, as I said. So we will have 1 winner and then a second and a third place. The 3 winners will be receiving prize money, which will be spent in training and communication ideas communication materials, to be developing their ideas further. So the winning team will be getting €2,000, 1,000 for the second one, and 500 for the third team classificating. They will also be able to take part in a dialogue with European Commissioner Kadri Simpson as part of the European Sustainable Energy Week 2022. And one of its team members will be able to be in Brussels and participate at EUSEW2022. Now, we still have a couple more minutes, in fact, so I would like to invite Adriana, perhaps, to have like a second exchange of words. Adriana, so thanks a lot for being with us again, and maybe from your experience with the European Youth Energy Network, what do you think that the main challenge that the participants might be finding is going to be? What do you think that are perhaps some potential difficulties and roadblocks that they will be finding on the way?
That's a very good question, and actually I don't think that there's one single challenge. I'll maybe start with one point which is not specific even to this topic, but that I've encountered a lot is that you're not clear about the problem that you like to address. So like you see the question that you want to kind of address, you think you understand it, but then you fail to dive deep and to really understand what is this challenge really about? Like what are the root causes of it? For example, why are the consumers not aware of their energy consumption, their carbon footprint? Why are they not saving energy? Like, how can they be so stupid to not do that? It's so important. And then to really think why, and to really ask this why question, and to actually ask, maybe there are different problems. Maybe this is not the key problem, and maybe there are different responsibilities, different actors, different reasons why they're not acting, which is maybe not even awareness related. So I think this really to understand your problem, and once you've understood it, to communicate it effectively and tell decision makers, hey guys, this is a problem, we need to act on this, and show why it's important, why it's the right approach. I think this is the key point, and I hope this is helpful for the hackathon participants, because once you've understood the problem and the system you want to change, you can then really effectively find a leverage point to start your project and to change what you want to change, and convince people that what you're doing is the right thing, and that what you're doing might be the right project to fund, for example, so also to investors or other stakeholders. Yeah, so I think this is this is really a key thing, and of course there are other things like not finding the right data. You've seen this a lot, also with the project of EYEN, or with lots of contexts. You want to find a specific data on a specific field or consumer group or whatsoever, and you just can't find it. And I think this, there you can only push if you know there's someone responsible, or if there is data, to push really for it and to be super vocal and tell the decision makers or the research institution that you really need that. And I think on this topic of the data and of finding really a concrete solution, what helps is to define the target group really specifically, because in the hackathon challenges we have, of course, consumers and citizens is a big topic, but my advice as a communication young professional with years of experience is to really go deep and imagine this target group as if it were your friend or neighbor that stands beside you, and you know everything about them, and you know how they think and what they need, and to go really deep into that. And then I think you can really build the idea and communicate it in a simple way, you know, like communicate it in a simple way that everyone understands, and not run into the mistakes of kind of making it not engaging or not tangible enough. Yeah.
That's very interesting, because it makes me think when, as my daily work as a journalist, I mean, I need to always like communicate and write about some very complex subjects, but sometimes I think like, okay, like how am I going to explain this to my mother? And sometimes like find myself in this situation where I need to explain, I don't know, the ETS expansion to buildings and cars to my parents, and sometimes I struggle to find the correct words. So if perhaps you can sum it up. So understanding the topic, right? Understanding the target, and then like finding techniques for storytelling, to find engaging ways and catchy ways to bring people on board, right?
Yeah. As you say, like understand the challenge, understand what you want to address, who are the actors, what is the system you want to tackle. Then, as you say, find the right tools, concretize the target group, be clear about what you want, and also be clear in the team that you have the common vision, the same values, the same goals, and then map out the system, map out what you want to change, and don't forget to be radical, to dream big, and to not be satisfied with just a little bit, but just go for it, I would say. And I wish you all the best to make this happen. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Adriana. I mean, I'm sure like our participants are already noting down these very valuable pieces of advice. We're slowly wrapping up here in the main studio and the platform of the EU Sustainable Energy Week, because in just a few minutes our participants will start hacking, and they will be moving the rest of the event to our hackathon platform at Event Tornado. So remember that the award ceremony will be taking place on Thursday, starting from early in the morning, starting from 9:30. Don't forget to join us for the European Youth Energy Day, because we are not only going to understand our topics better and find out what our participants have been working on in the past, the next couple of days in this case, but we will also have some great surprises. So just to let you know, 2 of the finalists from the EUSEW Awards for the Youth Energy Trailblazer Award will be joining us to be discussing a little bit more about engaging young people and communicating the energy transition across audiences. So I would suggest you not to miss it. Our teams will start hacking now. That's it from us. Now I'd like to hand over once again to Olaf.
Thank you very much, Anna. I'm really looking forward for a couple of exciting projects coming out of here. And so that's it for the first day of EUSEW2021. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 for another day full of activities. Well, that's it, unless you're participating in the hackathon. In that case, of course, you stay connected. For everybody else, the day is done. But in the meantime, the platform stays open. You can see all today's session as replay on the main page, on each session's page. You can check out the energy fair, and you can keep making contacts with other participants through the networking tool. And we really encourage you to use these tools. Of course, get already prepared for the day. Check out tomorrow's program and add the sessions of your choice to your personal agenda. That's only a click on the small calendar icon. For the participants of the hackathon, the work only starts now. For everybody else, have a nice evening. We see you tomorrow.